The Kansas City Royals traded left-handed starting pitcher Kris Bubic to the Los Angeles Dodgers. In return, they get another pitcher, basically flipping an expiring contract for someone with a little bit of upside. Let's talk about the trade. Kris Bubic seemingly had been on the trade block for months, even dating back to last offseason. And here, with hours to spare ahead of the trade deadline, the Royals finally moved on from the lefty. Here in 2026, he's been limited to just 9 games, 50 1/3 innings with a 4.11 ERA. Now, with the Royals in sell mode, it absolutely made sense to move on from Bubic and try to get somebody in return who could impact the organization moving forward. Now, whether you agree with that or not, maybe you thought he was an extension candidate, they obviously would have run the risk of losing him to free agency this offseason if they didn't agree to an extension. And unfortunately, he just hasn't performed well enough this year and hasn't been healthy enough to get a qualifying offer. Now, in addition to struggling with health, Bubic has just generally struggled on the mound. Again, his ERA is north of 4, and largely that seems to be because of his fastball. In 2025, his fastball had a run value of 5, according to Baseball Savant. This year, it's at -3. However, his changeup seems to be the show here. And so the Dodgers, I mean, they can afford to take on a project like that, a guy who has a very high upside, but comes with a little bit of risk, both health and performance-wise. But enough about Bubic. Let's talk about who the Royals got in return. They got reliever Carlos Duran, a 25-year-old pitcher still in his pre-arbitration years. He is on the 40-man roster, so this is somebody that we are going to see right away here out of the bullpen in Kansas City. Now, he has technically made his major league debut with the Athletics. He pitched in just 1 game, recorded 1 out. That's it. Otherwise, he has been at AAA for most of the year, where he has 37 appearances, 2 of which were starts, but he struck out 61 guys in 42 2/3 innings. That has led to a 3.38 ERA, which is okay for a reliever, but an xERA of 4.86. And one thing to understand about expected stats is that they are not predictive, so that we shouldn't look at that and expect that moving forward, or we shouldn't even assume some negative regression there. But what that does tell us is that there's something in the profile that's amiss. And for Duran, it's his walk rate. He has a 14.3% walk rate this year, which is pretty abysmal for a reliever. I mean, for anyone, but especially for relievers. And so that's the project that the Royals have to solve in order to come out on top, or even just to break even on this trade. For him to become an impact reliever and take advantage of all of those strikeouts, he's going to have to figure out how to command and control the strike zone. And all this was an interesting move for the Royals because obviously they sold on Bubic, and we talked about how that made sense, but they didn't necessarily get a noteworthy prospect for the future, right? Again, they just got a reliever. He's 25 years old, so he very much is still young, but he is already on the 40-man roster, and even though he spent the year in AAA, he could theoretically just jump right into the Royals bullpen, and they can kind of see what they have in him. And so they made this interesting move where, yes, they are selling, but they're also getting somebody who could actually impact the bullpen this year and years forward. Again, he's only in his first year of pre-arbitration, and this year might not count if he doesn't accrue many games. So we're looking at 6+ years, 5.5+ years of team control beyond this point. So with all of that said, what do you think of the move? Do you wish they would have gotten maybe a further away prospect that had a little bit more upside? Or are you happy with Duran, who again could impact the bullpen this year? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you're visiting RoyalsKeep.com for all of the trade deadline coverage.